All right.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Cool.
I'm going to give
right.
this to I'm going to give this to both Sarah and Audra, because we have had tons of requests for, I don't think people can get enough of Canva tips, branding, and all of the above. And Audra has wanted to do this presentation for a while. And then Sarah very kindly sent me an email, which is wonderful when I get them, by the way. So anybody who wants to do this and volunteer and feels like they have something to say and something to share and teach, please do. Sarah reached out to me and just said, you know, I feel like I really have a lot that I would like to share and I've learned, and I want to give it away. And can I be part of this? And I'm like, oh, hell yes. I'm always looking for somebody who will bless us with some of the gifts that they've been blessed with and the learning. I know Sarah, from the time that she first started with our company, total like 360 of don't put me in front of anybody to, hey, I want to be. So yeah, I'm proud of you, Sarah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And I credit a lot to you in this. When I'm talking about it, you'll hear your name come up, because I came over here. Well, I guess I'll start because it's all in my presentation. So let's do this. And then
go for it.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Let me share my.
So.
Okay, yes. So thank you so much, Carol. Yeah, so I reached out. Branding is something that I am so passionate about. It's one of my favorite things just to look at on Pinterest and learn about and read about. And when I was getting my license to be a real estate agent, basically, like, I think I was studying branding more than I was like license rules and stuff, which is not good, but I know it now. But it's just something that I always really, really loved. And I wasn't always at Better Homes and Gardens. I came over in May of 2019, a couple years after I'd gotten my license. And the brand of Better Homes and Gardens is what originally like got me over. So I actually couldn't feel like I could like market myself and advertise myself with another brokerage, just because I didn't like feel passion for what was going on. And it's so easy to feel passionate about the Better Homes and Gardens brand. So so I put in like the inquiry like email to come over. And then of course, within like 2 minutes of meeting Tom, I was like definitely hooked, because this place is amazing. So so I just love it. I think branding is so important, especially in real estate. And I just love talking about it. So yes, thank you again, Carol. So before we really get into it, we'll probably talk a little bit about what exactly branding is. And so when you think about branding, you're thinking about like your curb appeal, right? So we're all real estate agents. We know how important curb appeal is. And so branding is going to be, in the simplest terms, like your logo, the colors you use, the fonts that you're using, different patterns you're using. But it's also like the voice that you use in your marketing, the way you communicate with your clients. It's the way that your clients go through their transactions with you. So it's really the visual and emotional aspects of your business. And I mean, it runs pretty deep when you think of it like that. So let's see. So we just have some things we're going to be going over today. Again, I'll be hitting the importance of branding and then really building that foundation of branding. And I created a workbook that goes along with this as well, that we can send out if you guys want to do like a deep dive into creating the foundation of your brand, if you don't already have it. Or if you do already have a strong brand that you identify with, just writing that down and going over it and living it, you can do that too. So we'll go through all this kind of stuff. But before we do that, I just wanted to celebrate a little bit more. So how awesome our Better Homes and Gardens brand is. I do think we are so lucky, because not to speak ill of any other brokerage in the metro, but like I don't know one that like is relevant 365. You know what I mean? Like, so we're super lucky. Better Homes and Gardens has already established such a strong brand, and we have leaders within the brokerage that live and breathe the brand and the culture every day. And so I think it's really easy to, if you don't want to do your own separate branding, or if you maybe have like your personal brand, but your business brand.
I need copies of them. So
you want to
hand this to me now, actually?
Lean into the Better Homes and Gardens brands. Like, that's awesome. It's all easy peasy. And then I also just wanted to celebrate everybody. So as small business owners and just, real estate agents, we are small business owners. And Carol, this is when I give props to you, because I remember coming over from like my 9 to 5. And you're like, you are a business owner, you own your business. And I'm like, no, I don't, because I wasn't used to it. But once you really lean into that and realize this is your business, which probably most of you guys do, but it's just a time to celebrate. Like, this is awesome. Being a small business owner is a tough thing. So I just really want this hour to be about, looking inside, figuring out what is special about you, what you have to contribute to the real estate industry, leaning into that, and then creating your brand with it. So, woohoo, congratulations to everybody. You're all awesome. So again, we'll get into the importance of branding. So like I said before, especially in the industry of real estate, it is super important. We know how many realtors are out there. And so we've got 1.4 million in the United States, and we've got over 3,100 just in the metro. So you've got to find a way to stand out among the crowd. And through branding, you will be able to send messages to your ideal audience. You'll be able to motivate your audience to work with you. You can establish your authority and expertise in this marketplace, and then ultimately use all of that to generate more income. So again, it's your curb appeal. It's the way you can appeal to your ideal clients. It just has so much that it can bring to you. Let me see. And that curb appeal. So before you can get into like the fun stuff, I think, which is definitely like your different colors that you're using and the fonts you're using and creating your logo, you really need to start at the super basics and understand your why you're a business owner, why you're in real estate, what you're doing it for. And this is probably something that's not new to people who have been in the business a while. We've been asked to define this in the past. I know I have too, and I hadn't ever like thought of my why for anything really until I came over into real estate. But if you're newer to the business, maybe it hasn't come up so much. The reason why is the reason why you get out of bed every day and do the hard stuff you do. Especially in this market, it's hella tough. So it's like, why are you doing what you're doing? Once you figure out this why, this will help keep you motivated. So when times get super tough, or when you start getting like those not so hopeful thoughts come in your brain, you can push those out and be like, I'm doing this for this, and this is why. And then of course, this all goes into your brand as well. So in the workbook, you can work this kind of stuff out with more prompts, but right here, you can see your why. So when you're thinking about what your why is, who are your VIPs in life? Who are you doing it for? What does your dream life look like? How do you see yourself making a mark in the industry? So are you doing it to, be a positive influence in real estate, maybe be like a change maker for affordable housing, which would be amazing? Or are you doing it like me? My husband works at UPS, so I'm like, man, I want to get him out of that super strenuous job. So it's really like doing it for my family, doing it for him. So it's just really important to get this base of who you are, what your business is for, and where you're going with your business. Oh, next one. So the next thing after establishing your why is establishing your mission statement. So your mission statement is a really strong statement. So this is going to be where you're standing up tall to the world and telling them exactly what you stand for, what you're about, what you're going to do to help people. And it's just everything your business is based on, basically. And so I put a simple formula here. It's essentially what you do plus who you help plus how you help them. And then of course you can put in the ideal outcome there as well. So let me see. I wanted to show you. Better Homes and Garden, the Good Life Group has a mission statement, which I found on the internet, which I think is, again, awesome. Like, look, I don't know any other mission statements that are out there with the brokerage. So like, if you don't want to think of one, like we already have one that's amazing and we probably already are all doing. But if you haven't already seen it, it's this. It's that we're a group of kind, competent, and positive realtors. We are authentic, collaborative, and support one another. We always represent our clients with honesty and integrity, focus on building relationships that last well beyond the sale. So we're telling them what we do and how we do it. You know that this is a brokerage that's based on relationships and stuff. So we put that in there as well. So it's just awesome. So like I said, I'm gonna say like lean into it a lot because I just really like saying that lately. So lean into this a lot if you want to, or create your own mission statement. And the cool thing about a mission statement is it doesn't have to go out to the world if you don't want it to. Some agents and some companies you'll see will put those on their websites or draw back to it in their marketing. But you can hold that in internally and use it as your internal guide, just to, you know, guide you what you do in business. So how you're working with your clients, how you're marketing. And again, you don't need to do that. That can just be your own personal thing. Again, in the workbook, there will be some prompts for it, and then you can brainstorm your why with not your why, your mission statement with a couple of other things. And when you're doing this and thinking of your mission statement, it doesn't have to be one line, which maybe you've seen a lot with different businesses, as we see here from the Good Life group. You can do it in a few lines, but I would just suggest being concise, because that can be really impactful. Just when someone sees that you know what you want to say and you know how to say it, like that, I think that can have a large impact. So it's pretty cool. And just, well, let's see. But I did want to say, let me see. Sorry, now I'm looking you. Let me go back. But just so my mission statement, I have it kind of like all over. I throw a little bit of my Instagram and then some in my marketing, but it's essentially that I help my fellow Nebraskans through successful real estate transactions using better information, better communication, and better representation, all while following the golden rule. So I'm telling them exactly like who I'm helping, so my fellow Nebraskans, how I'm doing it. So I'm doing that through really good communication, having information for them, and better representation. And then also just following the golden rule. So that's really important to me. I always treat my clients how I would want to be treated. And I think that's a really easy way to communicate that to my clients. So I don't have it on my website anywhere, but I just kind of throw it in like everywhere, essentially. So you can do that and use it as you want. But everything that I do in my brand and everything that I talk about really comes back to this when I'm talking directly to my clients about the real estate side of my life. Also with my personal brand, I just talk about a bunch of other stuff. But then I'm going to go back to the workbook that we can email out for you guys. But the next thing I wanted to talk about were your brand pillars. So once you get your why and you get your mission statement, it's going to be pretty easy then to think about your business and how you want it to be seen. So what I suggest doing is brainstorming adjectives, words that you want, that you see your business as being, and how you would want clients or the community to describe your business. So when you're doing that, of course, these are probably super positive terms is what you want to think about. And then from those keywords that you pick a few, 3 to 5, you know, really however many you want. This is your business, do what you'd like to do. But think of those as your super core values, where everything comes from. And then you'll see that it's all basically the same thing, but it's all different kinds of ways that you're putting it out there to people. And then again, Better Homes and Gardens already has amazing brand pillars. So I never really thought of it this way, but Paige, like those are straight up brand pillars. Those are the core values, which I knew they were core values, of course, but these are the brand pillars. So we've got passion, authenticity, inclusion, growth, and excellence. So I know a lot of agents who maybe like pick 1 or 2 of these to really focus on for the year, which is awesome. And I would totally suggest doing that. I do that too. I definitely have pulled from this. I think it's amazing. And so again, if you don't want to do your own branding, or if you just totally align with this, then go for it. Because again, I can't say it enough. We have an amazing brand over here. So my brand pillars are authenticity, education, and courage. And those essentially are for me too. So I need those to come back to, which maybe do with here too, would be like excellence or growth. I love thinking of those too, because that reminds me to be excellent, to always be growing, to always be trying to be better for my clients, and always be trying to be better myself. So as Carol saw me in some like weird times, and like I'm very introspective. I think way too much, and I need this stuff to keep me in line, like keep me going and hitting my goals and stuff like that, and most like personal goals and just like mental goals. So, but it's super easy. I think it's really cool. And I think once you have your why, your mission statement, your brand pillars, you really start thinking of yourself as a business owner, running your own business. And there are so many positives that come from that. So I would really suggest getting this down on paper and living it, breathing it, seeing it. And then again, it's an easy way to market it and talk to your ideal clients, which I hopefully we're going to next. We are, cool. Okay, so branding again is your curb appeal. And so when you're when you're thinking of your branding and how you want to present yourself to the world, it's a really good idea to have your ideal client in mind. So, you know, I think of it as your branding really not for yourself, but for those clients. So, you know, using the certain colors you use or the terms you use, or, you know, if you're super jokey or super nice, then you're probably going to attract those people too, who really don't take things too seriously, you know, who are kind of, you know, just chill too. Or if you're super professional and very analytical and like that, you'll probably attract clients like that. So it's good to understand what kind of client you want to reach and who your ideal client is, because then you can fine tune your message to them and how you act. And so, really quick on that. So, I live a vegan lifestyle, and I was like, I really want vegan clients. Like, I just think that would be so cool. And I'm never like, I want vegan clients. But the way that I market myself and the things that I talk about online, like, are very geared towards those people. And when I got like my first like full stranger vegan follower on Instagram, I remember just like freaking out to my husband. Like, I was like, that was my dream. I did it. And it was so cool. I'm like, to see myself building a community of those people following me, like, I'm building my ideal audience, and it's just literally what I'm talking about, and people will feel an emotional connection to that and will be drawn to you. So it's really easy to start working with those ideal clients once you nail it down and start talking to them. Because honestly, like, I would suggest doing that, because, you know, they always say, like, if you're marketing to everyone, you're marketing to no one. So you need to figure out who you want to hit, and then you can learn what those clients or audience communities pain points are, or just what would hit them emotionally that you want to connect with them with, where they could start building that relationship to know, like, and trust you. So really quick, make sure you're putting out expert real estate information as well, so they're trusting you. But once you build that, like, that's amazing. So then they'll come to you. So with that, I would talk about like the client avatar. So that's in the workbook as well. Sorry, I keep talking about it. Just sent it out. I'll send it out. But with this client avatar, like, a lot of big companies do this. Like, their marketing departments are already doing this. So they will create like an actual like person, ideal client for them. They'll name them. They will decide like what their age range is, what their favorite food is, what their favorite movie is, you know, their clothing style. And you can do that with your clients. So you're really creating this person that you want. So your ideal client, and it's in the workbook. You can name them. It's really fun, and you just list out all the things. And this would just be the ideal person you'd want to work with. Once you have that down, again, it should be pretty easy to then market to them, talk to them the way you know, just your voice and your marketing and stuff like that. So it's really cool to have that down, just so you're not out there blasting the world to everybody, really not knowing what's going to land where, who's going to connect with you. So I would definitely suggest doing that. And then also, like, in real estate, we can definitely do like niche markets. So if you are really good at like condos, I feel like we hear this a lot, you know, like, be the condo person and then just give expert information on that. And then people who are wanting that lifestyle, like, you're the go-to person for that. So, or if you're really into educating first-time home buyers and first-time home sellers, creating marketing behind that with a ton of education and information, you're really going to start making those people who may be a little uncomfortable to get into real estate or to do whatever, you can calm their nerves. So you could be that go-to person. There's a lot of different things in real estate that you can niche down to, and it definitely will not limit you. It may seem like that, but it doesn't. I mean, it just opens up the whole new world to this particular market. And then if that's your ideal market, like, go for it. That's what I say. So do that. All right, let me see really quick. Before I jump into that, I just want to make sure I, of course, put a bunch of notes down because I didn't want to miss anything here. Just authority market. But again, in the workbook, during this like niching down part, I would really want you to start thinking about your strengths. So already look inside, like, we're all awesome. We all have different strengths. Like, we're better at different things within real estate. So hone in on those, see what that is, and then see what comes from it. So once you check it out, and then you're like, oh, like, this is a pattern, I should be doing this. Like, do that. Like, that's amazing. Let your audience know about that. live that, breathe that, brand that, and then talk to them. And then you become the authority and expert using that. And it's just great. So more workbook stuff if you want to list out your strengths and then niche down, and then the client avatar. So we'll make sure to get that out. But I mean, once you get all that, that's all your foundational stuff, then you're ready to rock. And then you can start thinking about all the super fun stuff. So first thing I wanted to, we'll just quickly talk about this stuff so we make sure that we have enough time to go over all the Canva things. But the fonts that you use can say a lot. And so think about the personality of the brand that you want to portray to the world, and then check these out. So you can see like serif. So serif will be like those little feet that you see. So they're kind of the fancier, like, you know, like fancy fonts, I say, fancy fonts. But they kind of give off the vibe of being traditional, reliable, and respectable. So those are just a few examples that I put on there. And these are all pulled from Canva. And all of these, I believe, except for those decorative ones, are free fonts. You can check it out, but Canva has a bunch of fonts. So you can go in there and check out all the fonts. But sans serif, which you'll see Better Homes uses a lot, is going to be modern, stylish, clean. It was like sophisticated. So it's really cool adjectives there. And excuse me, I'm going to cough. Get a drink. Perfect. Okay, so sans serifs, and then you've got your script fonts, which are going to be more elegant, playful, and classical. And there are a ton of script fonts out there as well. And then we got the crazy ones that are crazy fun, I should say, not crazy like bad crazy, but crazy cool. The decorative group. So they're fun, casual, a little bit eccentric, but super cool. So, you know, play around with the fonts, and I can show you, we will show you in Canva how they have font combinations and stuff there too. Because that's always been the trickiest thing for me, or finding fonts that look well together, you know, like just go well. But they have like designers telling you to do that. And of course, Canva is all DIY, but you can always go to like a designer to help you with this too. But I'm a DIY kind of girl when it comes to this stuff. With the fonts too, really quick, you want to do maybe 2 to 3 in your brand. So you don't want to overload people with fonts, because that can look a little nutty and just like too much. So 2 to 3, and then use like one pretty sparingly, and then the other ones for like your body of text and stuff like that. Okay. So then when you're thinking about your colors, there's a whole thing of color theory and branding. So it's all about the emotions that different colors evoke. So you can see here, got all those different colors and what they mean to people and the emotions that they bring. I think it's really cool. Obviously, Better Homes with the green. I just think that's awesome. I mean, I remember when I switched over, and a past client, when I was using them again, he's like, I'm just so happy that you're Better Homes. I love the green, because he was super into like nature and green lifestyle, which I am too, which I think is awesome too. So that's another thing. So just that, like, we just have a really good vibe out there in the community when people see our green signs. Like, they're just happy. So, and I'm such a fan. So yeah, I just love our brand. But anywho's, so color theory, that's going to be what this is, where you're thinking about what kind of colors make you feel what. Hex codes you will see. So those are like the hashtag, pound sign, numbers of, you know, what the color is. Every color has a numerical like name to it, and that's a hex code. I'll show you on the next slide. But that's how you can find your colors, and that's how you can consistently use them in projects. And then color hexa I have on here too. I can show you. It breaks down and like changes the hex code to CMYK. It's really a deep dive into colors and which colors look good together, and then if you need to print CMYK, stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty deep, but if you want to go there, Color Hex is a good website for that. Okay, but if you don't want to get into all of that, again, Better Homes and Gardens, what's up? We've got this amazing brand. So you can find all this information on the internet. That's where I found it, thegoodlifegroup.com. It's also on Greenhouse, so wherever you want to go for that. But you can see, so the different colors, they each have the hex code, so the RGB hex, and then you see like 339933 is the green. So that's that primary color. And so when you go into Canva, and we'll show you, you can put that color in and get that exact color. So that's what it's going to do. You don't have to try to find the color. It's going to get you that exact color. And then you can see the other supporting actors here, light green, the porals, light blues, all of that, and the neutrals. So those are all the colors in the brand of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. And then Grand Hotel, Railway, and Remo are the, I hope I'm saying that last one, I'm sure, but those are our fonts that Better Homes and Gardens uses in their branding. So Grand Hotel is the one that you use the most sparingly and like this large and, you know, for the big headlines. And then Railway is a little bit, you know, you can use that more. And then that Remo would be like your body text. So that's kind of what it's showing. If you can see, kind of did it in the sizes to show you like which ones are used and like how. But a lot of brands will have brand guidelines. So when you see that online, that's going to tell you exactly how to use the colors, how to use the logos, how to use the fonts. So Better Homes does not want you to use Grand Hotel in all caps for your body. And that would look crazy. And so they're just telling you that. And I mean, that's good to know, but you probably would have already known that anyways. But brand guidelines is going to tell you all of that. So when you see that online, that's what's up. So just a few branding tips before we get into everything else. I would just recommend to be consistent in your branding. So across like your social media channels, make sure all your stuff, if you're using one color, use that color everywhere, use your fonts everywhere, use your patterns or your little graphic bugs. Think this little graphic guide there. So you just want to be consistent in your voice, be consistent in your processes. You know, if you are sending emails to everyone and you have your email templates, make sure those are branded to you too. If you're sending cards to people, personal notes, you can brand the personal cards. And then so every time your clients or someone in the community is getting something from you, they're going to start recognizing your brand. So in their mailbox, they'll know right away if you're sending like hot pink envelopes that, hey, that's Sarah. She's in my mailbox again. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. They can start getting to know your brand and associating things with you. Maybe they'll start seeing hot pink and just think of me everywhere. But anywho's, yeah, so make sure you're staying consistent in your processes, your voice throughout, talking to them. And then Vanity Domain, Audra is the pro at this. So getting a Vanity Domain for your Better Homes and Gardens website. So people don't have to go and try to search for you or have that super long website. Tightening up that branding with that website as well would be awesome. And Audra, if you want to speak to anything with that, that would be, if there's anything more you want to say, because you're the girl for that.
Yeah, definitely. Getting a vanity domain is really easy. You basically just go to GoDaddy and search if the ones that you're considering are available. We just suggest GoDaddy because it easily can tie in to our Zap, but really anywhere that you purchase a website. I think it's like $12.99 a year from GoDaddy. And basically just some tips on when you're trying to think of a vanity domain that would be good for you is to write them out or type them out if you're considering a few, because sometimes like if you put two R's together, then people don't know. Just think of something that would be easy for someone to spell or say, that you don't have to spell out every time you tell somebody it. But it is a really powerful marketing tool because you can add it on your business cards, Facebook, anything, and then people will go straight to your site. And it also ties to an app through our Zap as well. And so if anyone is contemplating doing this, wants some more information, just let me know. I'm more than happy to help you. If you're torn between a few, you can run them by me. And then when you do have it, I can easily set it up for you or walk you through it on the phone, how to actually get it tied to our Better Home site so that it will go straight to your website. So.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So last thing too is just to think about the small details in your branding. So I put here emojis. So personally for me, and I didn't know if it was a good decision at first, but now I totally love it, is I've picked two emojis that I use in my texts all the time to my clients and the people and on social media. So I use the two little pink hearts and the sparkles because that's just like what I love. And I just love it. And so I just think that's another way to separate myself and to just differentiate myself. Again, I'll say that. So I think little surprises like that, little intentional choices that you're using to set yourself apart. Because again, this is just finding the way to separate yourself from the 3,000 plus realtors in the Omaha market. So you want to find, again, what's special about you, really just dive into it, shout it to the world and live it. And then that becomes your brand. People will resonate with that. And then you're going to be a rock star. So I just think that's all awesome. Again, that's why I love.
Just one quick addition to that too, what Sarah was saying is once you think of those things that you know differentiate you, be sure to use those in your marketing, in your buyer's packet, in your listing presentation. Even have a page that's like by the numbers, here's what I do, or just all about me and what really does make you stand apart.
Yeah, definitely. That's a super good point. I mean, you can really say, this is how I run my business. I'm all about this, you know, just tell them and then tell them. Yeah, exactly. And then show, of course, all the details that show them how you're different as well. Yeah, that's a great point.
I want to add something to what you were saying, both you, Sarah and Audra. It's made me think of this about vanity domains. One of the most appreciated gifts that we give to clients who have new babies is to do a vanity domain with the baby's name.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
Yeah. When Max was born, I did maxducey.com and I did maxsuzaducey.com. And then it started me thinking, like, what about that as a gift to somebody? And nobody ever thinks of it. So, and it's not that, doesn't cost that much. You can do a 5-year one for like, I think $35 or something. And then you just let them handle it. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great way to really kind of get in there with something that nobody else would do. So anyway,
Heck
that's
yeah.
on Vanity.
No, that's super, super cool. That's a really good idea. I can't imagine that as a client getting that as a gift. I'd be like, this is amazing. Like,
yeah, it's like a future. You're
Yeah.
showing them that you're there for the future.
yeah. Well, I wish you would have known my mom when I was born, because Sarah Waller's taken and they want like thousands of dollars for it. So see, you're helping people. That's really cool. So thank you. But yeah, I'm gonna let Audra speak to this, because when we are creating a brand that's a little bit different, you know, not following exactly what Better Homes is, there's just some stuff we need to keep in mind to make sure we're following all the rules for the commission and all that. So
yeah, mostly it's for when you, and we do have a sheet that goes through the advertising guidelines, but I'll just go over the top ones right now. It's just good to keep in mind, anytime you have your name with Realtor, it does have to appear with the Better Homes logo on all of your business cards. So you can't just have your logo or your name on the front without the Better Homes logo next to it. If you do create your own personal logo for branding yourself, that's great. And then it just needs to be always parallel or with the Better Homes Good Life Group logo, or the Good Life Group logo has to be more prominent than the other. And so you can't just have a business card with your logo on the front and then ours on the back. So those are just some, and then same thing with yard signs. It's kind of just goes for all of the media platforms, but then also on social media, same thing applies. And a lot of people have questions about that. A lot of times we always will look at things, especially custom signs. Leslie really would like to take a look at all of those now, because we want to keep upholding that green, Better Omaha, beautiful sign and brand. And so we don't want to stray too far away from that. So she really wants to try to start looking at those and just making sure everything is consistent and with our brand, national brand as well. So if you have any specific questions, or if you ever want to run anything by me, or if you want me to email you those advertising guidelines that are laid out in a do and don't sort of way, just let me know.
thank you. Okay, so that is everything on branding. So we'll jump into Canva. And again, if you want that workbook, we'll get that out. And kind of my idea behind that was Brian Buffini. You know, when you think about, if you guys have taken any classes with him with the goal setting, where you turn on like classical music and write your goals, like I think this is a really cool time for you to sit with some classical music and just really think about your brand, what you want to do, and get excited about it and figure out those brand foundations and then just go for it. So that's all that, everything. there'll be a lot more information in there and all that. But now we'll jump into Canva. And I apologize, we have 20 minutes. So I want to make sure we cover everything. Does anyone have any questions that you like immediately want us to go over? Or does anybody have anything? I want to make sure we hit everything, but if not, then we can just get into it.
Yeah, and we can be watching the chat as well.
One thing, Sarah,
you can always.
Sarah, I'd like you to speak, Sarah and/or Audra. I'd like you to speak to is the whole idea behind branding is amazing and you need to be there, but some people have trouble with even seeing how special they are. So what is your advice for how to start? Like, do you ask other people? Do you like sit down and meditate? You know, I mean, like some people just can't acknowledge how cool they are. You remember when we first started, I was like, you're so freaking awesome. And you're like, don't see it. Like, you know, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say schedule some coaching with you.
Well,
ASAP.
coach. Yeah.
Okay, so something. Yeah, I don't know. I think just I mean, I feel like with me, like, yeah, I always had like insecurities in real estate. And, you know, I remember you telling me to stop saying that I'm not confident. So just little things like that, like really trying to get over that. And I would say talk to people who know you and see what they like about you. It's always hard to see what other people think about you. And then really, really believe it and really think it and speak that way to yourself and listen to a lot of good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, I feel just the more positive I've been in my life, the more positive influence I've had in my life, I'm able to look at myself more positively. And then it's just like all just like snowballs. I don't know. But yeah, I would say that, Audra, if you have anything, I would just, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. I mean, I really like the idea of if you have recently worked with someone, I mean, it's always so great to ask for their reviews, of course, and or if they just give them anyway, but then to really pull out pieces of that. And if you don't have anyone who's giving you reviews and you know that it went well and you know that they're happy, then obviously to reach out to them and ask for that, or even have them describe it to you, and you can write something too, but to really pull out those adjectives that would describe you and make you unique, even if you have to ask them exactly for that. Most people are happy to do that, and it's not as hard for them to do sometimes as it is to do that for yourself. And if there isn't a client that fits that at this time, or you're brand new, then I think it's okay to definitely like reach out to a family member or a close friend who you know is going to be honest and knows you really well, and obviously will know your strengths too. Or you can even think of in other industries, if you're coming from another industry, what have past coworkers and employers or things like other people said, or even think if you were in an interview or you were describing yourself to somebody, what, instead of just trying to write down and sit and think about those things, how would you tell them? How would you describe yourself to them? And I think those things will flow more easily.
And I think also what you said, Sarah, too, is I don't think it necessarily even has to be somebody who knows you. I just think it's somebody who will tell you the truth for the sake of your growth. And tell you the things that they see are in your way, as well as the things that they see about you, the glory they see about you that you don't see about yourself. So both of those things, I think help wake you up to who you really are, not what your belief systems are based on your experiences. So yeah,
exactly. And thinking about this, I remember like the page event when Wendy Griffiths, is that her name? Wendy Griffiths. She did this like exercise where we were supposed to think of somebody we admire or look up to and be like, you know, list out what we liked about them. And then after it, she's like, now that I am in front of all those things. And I was like, whoa. And like, I was like, okay. And like, I wondered if that really was the things that we liked about them, or things that like I don't know, it felt like something good, and it made me feel a lot better. And I was able to really relate to that and find some good things from that. So that was a fun exercise. So do that exercise too. Call Wendy, she's great. So let's see. So Canva time. Okay, I can't get to my, okay. So what Audra's really awesome and has templates that she's been giving us for newsletters, and I have here some just listed she sent that are available to us. So if you're unfamiliar with Canva, it is just a website online. So it's just canva.com. It's not any additional software or anything like that. And it is free. They have a pro account that's like 12 something, I think $12.99 a month. I have that. I love it. It opens up every possibility imaginable on Canva. I think it's worth it, but I'm not trying to like tell you to buy it or anything like that. Audra and I talked about this. We're not trying to like sell you pro or like, we don't have anyone on Canva boards, but it's just good. But you can do a lot of this stuff for free, and everything that Audra sends is with the free elements, correct, Audra? I believe you said that. So
yeah, I mean, or it's with the free elements that you like when you put them in, unless you go and change something, it's not going to download with the watermark. But if you aren't using the pro version and I do ever send anything that then you're like, oh wait, this is having the watermark or this isn't, just let me know and I can help you with that too. But I do try to use the free. Do you want to show them that filter, Sarah, on how to find? So if you
free photos,
if you only have the free version and you don't want to keep seeing all the photos that are the paid for version, where Sarah just went to those little dots at the top. So if you were in photos and you hit those little dots, you can check mark free. So it's not going to taunt you with all of the pro photos that you're like, oh, that would be perfect. But then, yeah, or you could buy pro.
Yeah, I mean, they do have a lot of free photos that are really, really, really good. I really like pro. I think what sold me on it and had me buying it a couple years ago was that you can download things with transparent backgrounds. So then you can get those logos or those different elements without a white background. So you can place it on anything. So that's just a.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, you're fine.
That's a great feature. One other thing that Sarah just did that a lot of people may not even know about, hopefully you do, but you may take for granted, we may take for granted in Canva. You can obviously search photos or elements for house or for shamrock or for whatever you're looking for. So that I mean, that's pretty elementary, I know, but sometimes people were like, oh, I didn't even know that. How'd you find all those house photos? So that's
yeah, definitely. You can search for anything and they have so many photos. It's ridiculous how much they have. Oh, it looks like outdoor spaces. I just put this in one of my newsletters. So I was looking at outdoor spaces for houses. I mean, you can really get specific. I did Ireland yesterday for a post. So Ireland stuff comes up. I mean, they have so many stock photos.
There's Omaha, Nebraska, there's a bunch of stuff. You can,
yes,
crazy.
Definitely.
So,
oh,
that's the free.
Like you need the pro ones.
A lot more if you are
if you're pro. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So yeah, it's all good. So whichever you want to do, pro or free, it's available to you. So a lot of different elements there for the branding. Really quick, when you go into your text, they will actually have different font combinations, if you can see here. So they already have these ready for you. Some of those are pro. See, it shows if it's pro, it'll say pro by it, so but oh, that's pro. Sorry, guys. Okay, but if you have pro, then that's there. Or if you want pro, you can get a whole bunch of different font combinations. They also have different styles. This doesn't look like this is pro, which is awesome. You can go in here and get different font combinations, different color combinations. So the designers have already done this work for you in here if you want.
So you don't need to necessarily hire a graphic designer or someone to do your brand. If you already have your good idea and what you're kind of thinking of, this is built in there for you.
Yeah, essentially this is your designer. So if you bought pro for $12.99 a month, you would have everything you would need to be a designer. It has everything you need. It has a brand kit in there as well. So right away, you can see here are my different brand colors. Everything will be here. So it's all right away. So you can get to it all really super quickly. So we'll jump into one of these just so you can see kind of the other ways to edit things. So let's do this one. So you can change the fonts, of course. So if you get these templates from Audra and you want to edit them, you just change the fonts right here. Everything's going to be on this main screen. So here are all the fonts, and the little crowns indicate pro. So everything that's not with a crown, you would have available with the free account, which is a ton. They have so many good fonts in the free account. So you can change it to anything you want. We'll just do this. This probably won't look good. Well, it would if it was bigger, but you know, so then it's huge. So then you,
if you want it bigger, then you just pull on those little side, you pull on the little bars on the sides.
yeah, so you
Yeah,
separate it out like this.
like then you can make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that basically takes your space. And then it's just, you know, I'm just clicking this with my mouse. So I'm just dragging it around and dropping it. It's as easy as that. Those purple lines you see, those are lining them up for you. So you're going to see when it's centered, like that's completely centered. So that's that. So it's really cool when you're moving it around. You don't have to guess. It'll tell you. And then
and to find those, those lines, it'll automatically do that when you do it. But if you want to bring them on your own, to line up certain text, you can go to File and do Show Rulers and Show Guides. And this also can show you your print bleed. I know that might be getting over, if you're sending something to Pip with a bleed or something, but I can always help you with that as well.
yeah, so for printing purposes, a lot of people will need you to have your photo bleed, which will mean that it will go off. So when it prints, it'll cut it, it'll trim it, and you don't lose any of that photo. The colors just go off. And you can see that dotted line is where it's marking the bleed, where that's going to be. Anything past that is the bleed. So that'll show that. So that's when printing, but yeah, Audra can definitely help with that. That was confusing to me for the longest time. Kathy knows this too, working at the magazine, but then I realized it. So anyways, let's see. Let's change the
easily, like add a page or
Yeah.
delete a page, or how to download just certain pages.
Yeah, definitely. So let's do this one. So you can always have, let's just do,
I mean, let's pretend they had one that was just listed, and then they didn't want to erase it, but they wanted to do a just sold, they could.
okay.
duplicate
So
that.
yeah, let's do that really quick. So this is your just listed. Let me look at my photos, really, my uploads. Oh, so this is uploads. Okay. So uploads.
Right, that's another thing that.
Yeah, there's so much we could have just done. But so uploads are all your photos, and that's really easy. All you have to do is drag and drop into this like black area over here, and it'll have your photos. So I definitely could clean this up, but I have all my stuff from like forever. So let's just find like a house photo or something.
To
Okay.
get a photo over there, you hit upload media, and then you go to your computer, right? And then you just.
You can, or you can literally, like I just drag and drop too.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, either way, whatever is easiest. If you have the photo available to drag and drop, you can do that. But if not, yes, Audra's exactly right. Upload media and then from your device or Instagram or Facebook. Didn't know that. So we'll just do this really quickly. So in this template, you just click on the text, and I would erase that. And let's just see that. And then you can, well, let's see.
Actually, it should put the photo right in there.
That one wasn't a frame for some reason,
Huh.
unfortunately. I don't know why. Sorry. Yeah, I know that maybe that one just
Yeah,
wasn't.
if it's a frame, then they can.
Yeah, if it's a frame, you can. Let's just, so when I have a photo here, again, everything I need to do is right in this area. So up here in this corner, that will duplicate whatever I'm clicked on. So I'm just gonna duplicate this just for easy peasy purposes. So like that. Okay, so then I just get in here and I'm like, Sarah, you know, you would update that by just clicking, and my computer's just acting weird. Sarah. And then all my information, and then I would do my description of my property, right? You just put in there, highlight it all and click it and do it. And then download it. So then you come up here. This is the download button up here. And you can see that there's different file types, right? So because some of these templates have like little GIFs in them that are moving, it's going to automatically try to download it as a video file, which is cool. So yeah, you can do videos on here as well. But because I'm going to be posting this to my social media, I want to do a PNG. That's just your high quality image, and that will go on your social media. So you click the file type here, and then you can change the size of it. I always just keep it at this. I don't ever find a reason why I need to. If somebody knows that they need to and can speak to that, please do. But I just always have success leaving it at that regular size. And then I don't compress the file. And sometimes I do transparent background, but that's that. So the other second thing that you want to do for sure is in this document has all the templates. So right now it's going to download all pages, all 11 of them. So once you click in there, you're able to pick exactly which page you want to download. So mine was this last one, page 11. So then I'm just going to click that. So now you see pages is just 11. And then I'm just going to download it. And then it's going to go. So then I've got my PNG. And then, I don't know if it's called anything, but then, so cool thing is, this is what I do a lot when I'm making graphics and then I'm pulling them into to Canva. Because it's right here, like I literally just drag and drop. And then it's going to be right there. There it is. So that's how easy it is to put it in back into Canva.
Right.
Okay, so
Copy that whole entire page. Say you did it for one listing, then you just hit where Sarah's showing you right now, that duplicate page. And that way it'll just create an exact new page of that. Or if you know you have one you'll never use, you hit the trash can next to it and it'll go away.
Yeah. So let's just say you can even do this. So now you have this, well, this is your branded just listed template. Well, now you can just change this to sold. Sold. And then there it is. And then, you would update everything else. And then the same thing, you go download that exact thing. Now you just want to make sure you're downloading page 12 only. So you can keep that. I have certain social media graphics that I use monthly that I just keep saved. And then I go in every month and update with like the market stats. And then I just re-download that one. So I just keep it in there. It's super easy. I don't have to do anything else. I just have to redo the numbers and the month and stuff like that. Once you
show people how to group things, like have their own, like all your contact info, if you want to group it and copy it and paste it so you don't have to retype it every time.
Yep. Okay, so we're doing this one. So say I want to move, let's find something. Let's just,
We have
add a
about
page.
3 minutes left, you guys, so.
Okay, we'll hurry
If
it up
anybody
here.
else wants to stay on, just stay on if you're trying to finish a thought here, but.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that.
Or if anyone has any questions of something we didn't cover, there's ways to flip photos, which is really easy, resizing things.
Where do you want questions to go, Audra, to you or to Sarah?
They can email them to me. They can put them in of course, right now they can put them in the chat or just unmute themselves, but you can always email me, or if you're really just struggling something, you can call and I could help you figure it out.
Okay.
So it's really easy to move things. You're just clicking. So I'm literally, well, that is a square. Let's see. So yeah, that's like a square, but I'm going to delete that and just make that my background color. Yeah, I'm a little too wonky only because I use it so much. But so to group items, because each one of these are a separate thing. So we've gotten 3 text box here. You can just group these all to move all of them. And so now these become like one solid group. And just like Word or any other shortcut, wherever you're doing anything, the Control C, X, and V work in Canva as well. So say I wanted to create a new thing down here on this next page. Well, I've got this highlighted, so I'm just going to do Control C to copy, come down here and Control V, and then it's down here. So it's easy to manipulate the elements. And really, you can do it forever and you can drag it down. Sorry, I hope we're explaining this, that I'm explaining this okay to you guys, but really the gist of it is that you can do anything you want really in Canva with the free thing. You just have to realize that it's, you know, everything can be changed essentially. You can change your fonts, you can change your photos. Like Audra was saying, yeah, you can flip photos. So that's going to be up here. You can flip them horizontally or flip them vertically. You know, that just changes it like that. I did that a lot in the slides with Matt's stock photos. I just flipped them to make them work better with how my text was. So you can do that. If you do have Pro, probably the coolest thing ever is a background remover. So I do that a lot with like selfies and pictures of myself that I want to put online against like a colorful background. It'll remove the background, so it's just me, and then I get to put it in a background. So let's see what it does.
It's a great tool. And then just while Sarah's showing you that, since we're at the real end here, say you see all this in Canva, just you're like, yeah, but that still seems a little difficult for me. If you just want to make a flyer of your listing or like a postcard of your listing, Greenhouse is a great tool for, it automatically has your listings, all of your listings on the MLS. So it already has all the property information and everything. If you want me to walk you through how to do that, I was going to do that on here. I know we're short on time. We're out of time. So you can call me and I can easily show you where to access that on Greenhouse. And we will explore that probably in a future ATA too. Because it is really easy to be there and you can download it. You do not have to use Greenhouse for printing or anything like that. You can download it as a PDF.
And this whole ATA will be available in the YouTube library. So anybody who missed it or missed parts of it or want to just watch it again, feel free to go in there and watch the YouTube, and it'll become part of our permanent training in our YouTube library. So
cool. And I'm wondering too, maybe if because I know the branding took up a lot of time. I'm wondering too if like recording like something where we're just sharing the screen recording and showing like step by step how to do everything. Like maybe if that's just a video on there too.
That was my next suggestion.
Oh, sorry.
If you would love to do that. Yes, let's get a couple of other you can do some 15-minute, here's one tip, 10 minutes, another tip, as many as you want to do, and we will upload them to the library. And then if they just have the titles of the things that people get stuck with. So to everybody else, your questions of what you really want to go deeper into are going to be very important. So if you will send those to Audra, and Audra can distribute them to Sarah and actually copy me on them too. So we know what to develop. Our library is going to be just an incredible amount of education and little tips and quips. So that would be wonderful. Thank you so much, both of you. I know this is like a 20-part ATA, so
totally realize that once in Canva you can do so much that it is totally like
Canva, branding, all of those things. What you want more of, you need to tell us and ask us for. So you ask, we respond. That's kind of how we work here collaboratively. So thank you so much, Audra and Sarah, both of you, for an amazing amount of information. So
thank you so much for letting me be here. Thanks, Audra.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right. See y'all later then.
All right. Bye.
Bye. See ya.